concept and holds and
B-Bart got to him, the nose guard.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Huddle podcast. I'm Cole B-Bart.
I'm Urban Godinos.
And today we have a wonderful guest, a good buddy of mine, another OAC guy. Went to Indian Lake High School. His senior season at Indian Lake, he was the CBC rushing leader with 1,300 yards. He has the school rushing touchdown record at Indian Lake with 20 touchdowns. He was an all-state running back his senior year, is now playing at Muskingum University. Everybody welcome on Eli Slagle.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
Of course, man. Super excited to have you on, man. And before we get started with, like, any questions and stuff, I just want to start off with, like, the story of, like, how I got to know you. And really, it was my senior year. I didn't know you at all my senior year, but I definitely, like, remembered who you were. So, senior year, okay, so let's start junior year, right? Junior year, we play Indian Lake again for the first time in a minute. It's been a while. And we're playing at their place. And I think that first year we started playing them again. In the halftime, it was a pretty close game. I forget what the exact score was, but we were right there. We were in the fight. And then I think ended up being maybe 21-7, maybe a little bit higher than that on their end. So Indian Lake beats us my junior year. All right, our senior year, not happening again, right? I'm not letting that happen again. And then so all I remember is I think we do end up beating you guys 21-7. I think the final score was. But at the end of that game, this is like the only thing I really remember from that game is, look, let's be real. Riverside, Indian Lake, not a lot of kids of color. So you just kind of already stood out to me, right? So we were like the only two there, right, on that field. And and we were both 45. That's what I remember.
Oh, yeah.
And so me and you were just kind of going back and forth with each other at the end of the game. It was because we ran we ran counter like 6 straight times in a row, bro. And I'm leading that. I'm leading the counter. And first time I hit Eli, I'm like, God dang, like, where did this guy come from? Like, I realized that. I was like, all right, bet. And then second time, run it straight counter again. And then I'm like, bro, this kid is hitting hard, bro. And then I'm just like, all right, bet, bro. So I think we run it 3 straight times. We do it again another 3 straight. I'm like, bro, all right, this is the end. Like, I'm done getting, like, I'm just over this beat down right now.
Yeah.
And, come to realize, like, I didn't really hear much of you, the rest of the year, right, because we're done, right? And I think it was a few years later down the road where I think it was, like, Devin Frilling senior year, which was, 2021, is that right? Your senior year, basically?
Yeah, yep.
So I remember I go back and I started filming for Riverside again, and I just remember you're like the star athlete. So, and then that's just kind of where I put 2 and 2 together. Oh, like, that's that dude. So that was just kind of my introduction to you. It was just like, as a senior, I noticed you as a freshman. Like, okay, yeah, that kid's gonna be a dog.
I got a sidebar and give my story. So, when I graduated school, I would go to local high school games, watch ball games, whatever. And one year, I went and watched Indian Lake. And I don't know when you just decided to just smack people. That was your thing. But there was a time there that you liked to jump. And I remember I just remember you just jumping over everyone. I'm just like, what is going on? But no, me and Eli have been good buddies probably for a good 2 years, 3 years now. I knew him his senior year. We got real close.
Yeah, so you guys played since me and him played each other. I'm assuming you guys
Yeah.
So sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. You were talking about how you started playing more. You started starting freshman year more into like the middle of the season. So is that when you guys probably played each other, or was it still not then?
Honestly, I didn't even have a connection with Eli when it came to football. Like we just hung out with similar friends and became real good buddies, and we talk every day. So it's good to keep up. And Eli's been a big fan of the Huddle, dude, and he's always sending me pictures of him watching them episodes.
Big man.
Anyways, I want to get this thing rolling, bro. We want to get your story just from ground zero to now. Talk about your sports journey and talk about your life, brother.
Okay, so from ground zero, I started probably when I was 4 years old playing baseball, wrestling. My dad got me into sports when I was real young. he was always heavy on me. You know, kept me just grounded and made sure I was, you know, head straight, level, you know, certain stuff like that. And then, you know, so I started playing t-ball. He was always my coach. He was always on me. You know, made sure I was doing good and stuff. Yeah. So once middle school came and stuff, and I was good to play football and stuff. You know, I was ready. I was ready to play football. I wasn't able to play football until probably about 3rd grade because they didn't have football at Bell Fountain. So when I transferred over to the lake, you know, my dad, that was the first thing he got me into was football. He was always talking to me from when I was a young kid, just talking about how, you know, he was ready for me to play football. I was always a bigger kid.
Yeah.
So he was always ready for me to play football. But there for a while, I had to play soccer. I was a goalie, man. That was so bad. Playing goalie, I didn't get to do nothing, no kicking. Man. But, hey, man, football came around the corner, come third grade. I think I played JV my first year, and then 4th grade came around. They had a 4th and 5th grade team. It was like a varsity team. I ended up playing on that with like the older kids. So, but I was playing center then, so it wasn't really nothing special.
Talk about a transition, bro.
Yeah,
center to running back.
Yeah,
come on now.
Big guy. But no, yeah. So I played center. I played center when I was little, and I ended up breaking my arm. In 4th grade, I think it was, broke my arm. They moved me to guard, and then I played guard from probably 4th grade until 7th grade. 7th grade, I moved to fullback because I started thinning out a little bit. Yeah. Man, if I showed y'all some pictures, I was so chunky. But I started taking wrestling more serious around 7th grade and stuff. So I started, you know, cutting weight for it and stuff and thinning out. So once football came around, you know, I played fullback, and they started using me more to like run the ball, catch passes, stuff like that. And they started like utilizing me on defense a lot more. But so once I started playing fullback, you know, 8th grade year comes around, you know, I was like, I'm not really trying to lead block no more. Yeah. I'm tired of the blocking and stuff. Yeah. I'm starting to thin out a little bit. I was like, I'm trying to catch the ball. So I was like, let me try running back. Nope, wouldn't let me do running back yet. So I was like, all right, that's fine. So I tried out H. It was like our little wing, like tight end.
Yeah.
So I was playing H for a little bit. Our 8th grade team was nasty. We were so good.
Yeah.
We won, actually 7th grade we won CBCs, 8th grade we won CBCs. But yeah, man, our team, a lot of us actually stuck together all the way through high school, which I think that helped us out in the long run. But you know, so like we had Worcester at quarterback. You know, that dude he's always been an athlete. So just having him back there, and you know, in 8th grade he was dishing out passes left and right to me, you know, up and down the field. So we was definitely a pretty good 8th grade team. And then come freshman year, you know, I had heard talk about them wanting me to play like come freshman year, but I didn't want to get like my head too far ahead of me because I knew I was still a freshman, you know, seniors and whatnot. Yeah. So, you know, going into freshman year, he was our Coach Rapp at the time. I started to get a little chip on my shoulder going into freshman year because I knew I wanted to start, but I knew I had to put in work if I wanted to start. So freshman year, you know, we got workouts, we got running and stuff. You know, I'm always pushing myself, always doing as best I can, and just keeping my head straight, staying out of trouble and stuff. And so we had some 7-on-7s and whatnot. And at the time, they had me at like H and running back, but I was more focused on running back. I've always, you know, wanted to play running back, would not carry the ball. That's always just been my thing. So I was always, you know, focused on that. So, you know, through the summer, I was working on it and whatnot. And then I played defense too, but like I didn't play a lot. Like I played defense. I played nose guard. I played linebacker, but like I was a freshman. I wasn't very big, so they didn't really use me that much at defense. But
wait, you said nose guard?
Yeah. They just used me because I was fast. They always used me to get up through there.
You were playing linebacker when we played you, right? I was about to say, yeah. I wouldn't have been hitting you if you were back there.
Yeah. No, I played linebacker when I played you guys. They moved me around everywhere, but
yeah.
So yeah, my first game starting my freshman year was Jonathan Alder. I remember, man, that was so crazy because they were always like a really good team in our CBC before they left the CBC. So they were always like top dogs. And
so they were in the CBC. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, my freshman year. And
are they not in the CBC?
They're in the OHC now, right? With West Liberty and them.
JA.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know that they made. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that they were in it.
Yeah, yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. So my first game was against them, and I remember, I think I only got like 3 or 4 carries, but it was my first carry. I think we were in like dive or something. Hit the dude, completely stumbled back. It was like just a wake up call off the rip, first play. And then after that, I started to get a feel of it. I was blocking more than anything. They just threw me in there. I was kind of blocking because they didn't really trust me with the ball at the time. It was my first game.
Who was your running back at the time?
Johnny Gambro. He was.
I genuinely don't even remember.
I don't know that name.
Yeah. He was a senior at the time. He was a pretty solid back. He was a pretty good dude. But he got hurt. I think he had I don't remember what exactly happened, but he had got hurt, and I started that game, and then from there, I just kind of started playing. We started splitting reps and whatnot. I was playing defense a lot more, and then they just kept me in the loop. Kept me mixed up. I was always on special teams. And I was just trying to stay on the field as much as I could. And then so come sophomore year, I was going into sophomore year, and going into sophomore year. So my freshman year, after football season, I was going into wrestling season, and we were at a tournament or something, ended up pulling my hip. I didn't think it was too serious or anything. Kind of went through baseball season. I was still playing, and then I ended up fracturing my hip during a wrestling meet, I think it was. Yeah, fractured my hip during a wrestling meet, and that happened, and then the following, that winter, I had to get surgery on my left hip. That sat me out for that sat me out for a while. So coming into my sophomore year, I was already bigger, just from sitting out, not doing much, kind of just physical therapy, getting my hip right. So I was, sadly, this sounds bad, I was about 225. Right now, I weigh about 205, but 225 at the time, I was still a big dude, but I had some fat on me. I definitely had some fat on me. But like you said, when y'all guys said I was just hitting people, that's why I was 225. I just didn't care.
Yeah.
So, but so my sophomore year, going into my sophomore year, big dude. They were all talking about moving me to guard and whatnot.
Bro.
They want to move me to guard.
Oh no.
Because I was that big. I was just big. My coaches, they were all the coaches are oh, you look like a guard. Yada yada yada. We have our 7-on-7s and whatnot. So I'm at this point, I'm y'all can move me to guard. That's fine. I'm still gonna play, but that's not where my heart is desired. You're not gonna get the most out of me at guard. I promise. That's just how it is. I'll play there, but that's just not where my heart is. So mentally, you're not going to get the best out of me.
Yeah.
But so they ended up keeping me there. I played the whole season. I think I got second team all conference.
At the running back position, right?
Yep. I don't know if I had 1,000 yards. I had close to 1,000. I think it was 800, 900. But that was my sophomore season. Going into junior season, we had COVID, so that set us back 6 games. We only had 6 games in my junior season. It was more it wasn't really hard. It was more so hard to get in work because the schools were shut down. There was no really gyms open or anything. So everything was more so on your own. But I really started to thin out my junior season. I got down to 190.
Okay,
lost about
dang.
30 pounds. Yeah. My coaches were really pushing me there. If you want to be in shape and stuff, you want to run the ball, whatnot, you want that many carries, you got to be in shape for it. So, I understand that. That makes sense. So, I got to put in the work for it. So, that's what happened. And so, come junior year, we had 6 games. A lot of them, they were really close, back and forth. We didn't really have a super good season. Didn't really have the season we wanted, but we had we ended up having the playoffs, and one of the most memorable games I had from that year, we had the playoffs, and we lost to Bucyrus Winford in the first round. But I remember because if we lost, we got an extra game in the first round because it was weird. It was weird. So if you lost first round, you got an extra game because it was
like a consolation game.
Yeah, it didn't count.
Yeah,
but it was just added on to the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we ended up playing Anna because that was our first game in the fall.
Anna?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were playing Anna, and it was at home. It poured the whole time, complete mud bowl, like just mud everywhere, slipping and sliding. But yeah, it was definitely fun. But yeah, and then so that was actually Coach Coburn's last game too. His last game coaching.
Was he the head coach or assistant coach?
Yeah, he was the head coach.
He was the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. So that was his last game coaching. He ended up stepping down. He's just the principal now, you know. But he always, shout out to Coach, he always keeping his head in football. You know, he was always out of practice my senior year.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. He couldn't keep out of it.
Yeah.
He couldn't stay away. But, yeah, he was always there just rooting us on. He was always there for us on the sidelines.
Talk about a good dude.
Yeah,
Coach
definitely.
Coburn definitely was. Dude.
Was he still coaching you guys while at practice, or were we just kind of staying back?
Like, he would be like, so he would be on the sidelines, and he would like, you could definitely tell he wanted to be in there coaching,
Mm-hmm.
but he would he didn't really say much. But like when he was out there during games and stuff, you could tell he'd be up and down the sidelines just talking, talking to himself. You know, it's just Coves. You know, he's a good dude. But so going into my senior year, you know, I didn't have any offers or anything, but I always knew college was what I wanted to do. From a little kid, I always wanted to play college football. And so I just, you know, I started pushing myself a lot harder, you know, mentally, physically, everything. You know, I had to make sure that I was in shape and ready to play and just all that stuff. And so come my senior season, we had like, I think it was 2 or 3 games. And, you know, I always I wasn't good at like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I would always reach out to coaches, but I wasn't good at like wording how I would reach out to coaches, like
gotcha.
college coaches.
Yeah.
So like when it came to recruitment and stuff, I always was like behind in it. So my senior year, I just started reaching out to coaches everywhere. Like any coach I could find on Twitter, any coach I could find on Instagram. You know, my dad, he got me in this like NCAA app, you know, just like a coaching app, and they would always email me and stuff on there and just talk to me and stuff, and just getting to know like how to talk to coaches is definitely different than just regular people. Like you gotta be like
professional,
really spot on with everything.
Yeah, definitely, because you don't want to. I mean,
say the wrong thing.
Yeah, they want to pick up a good guy.
I remember Eli's senior year, him reaching out to me. He's like, "Man, I want to play football in college, bro. Like, what do I do?" And so I'm pretty sure I sent you a giant list of coaches' emails, and I was like, "Dude, just send your film, send your film." And he always knew that I had his back. So after he said that, I went in and talked to my defensive line coach. I'm like, "Hey, if you need help finding people in the Bell Fountain area, let me know, because I have a lot of people that are worth a look." Right. And always gave shout out to Indian Lake. You know, I told them about you. I got coaches in contact with Eli, and then there's other kids along the way too, like Hayden Canal from Ben Logan, and trying to think of some more. There's a kids from Kenton, stuff like that. Like, I just like to like give love back to my home. Right. And so whenever I had the opportunity to help somebody out or put a good word in for people, I always don't hesitate to do that. So.
No, yeah, definitely. And I appreciate it, man. Without your help, I probably wouldn't have had a couple of the offers that I did. So, but yeah, just back to that, the offers thing. They were just really slow at first. Like a lot of kids these days, especially the higher recruits, they're getting offers freshman and sophomore year from the D1 schools. So just like looking at that as a junior and not having any offers, it was just kind of like, man, I got to pick my shit up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, I just started, me and my teammates, all of us that wanted to go to college, we would just start talking to coaches and whatnot. My head coach, he would have coaches come in and stuff and talk to us, and just like it more like our senior year was more of like a recruiting process than any of my other years. Right. But it's definitely a fun process. Any of the kids that are doing that, going through it right now, enjoy it while you can, because it only comes once, and it's definitely a fun process. Trying on all the jerseys, seeing all the different facilities. Yeah. All the different equipment everybody has, like, it's just an amazing process to go through. But just getting recruited going into my senior year, it definitely added like another task to my just what I was doing.
Right, just busy already. Yeah.
Yeah. So like we would have games and stuff, and then like I would be texting coaches after, sending them my film and stuff.
Okay.
So instantly, going and breaking down my film as soon as it gets posted, going into Huddle, making a mixtape, putting it on Huddle the next day, sending it to all my coaches, and just making sure they see what I'm doing day to day. I'm working out, like I'm sending them videos of me working out. Got a new squat, sending them the videos of the squat.
Okay,
like just showing them that I'm out here and I'm constantly working and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, I feel like just that, it kind of like help coaches see that, like what they're actually getting out of a person. So, so my senior year, probably one of my favorite years. We had a really, really good team. We would always, like, it was basically all seniors. There was 12 seniors, we all played. There was probably like 3 or 4 underclassmen that played. So it was basically, like I said, our 8th grade team all over again.
Yeah.
So, we was just out there having fun. It was really fun. A lot of the games were high scoring games. We just had that chemistry at that point. We'd played since we were little kids, so just out there having fun. And one of my most memorable games probably from that year, I'd probably have to say Graham.
Graham, okay.
Yeah. We ended up losing it, but just from me being like, that was the game I broke the rushing touchdown record.
Okay, gotcha.
That was I had the most yards in that game. I had 275 yards that game, 3 touchdowns. It was just out there having fun. It was a cold night, but like, those are the best nights. You're out there, it's nighttime, all your buddies. Can't get any better than that.
Was it a close game? Because I don't know.
Yeah. It was real close.
How good they were? Because I know you guys were really good. So how good? Yeah.
No, yeah, it was real close. They were really good. So it was for the split title of the CBC.
Mm.
So I don't remember the exact score. We only lost by like a couple points.
Yeah.
I think it was a field goal.
Okay.
But it came down to like the end of the game. Kicked it off. We ended up getting it and just couldn't convert. They got the score. They got ball back. Went down, kicked a field goal.
Yeah.
That was game. But yeah, man, that was just definitely one for the memories.
And you guys finished 7-4, right, that year?
Yep.
7-4.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping that you could talk a little bit about Luke because we've had him on here, obviously he went to go play at Wittenberg, and you guys were teammates at Indian Lake. Mm-hmm. So what was it like playing with Luke? Luke,
he's a character. He's always been a guy. He's always been a man of leadership, and he's just always out there. Speaking what he knows, and he's always one to keep you in line. Like if you're out of line, he's definitely gonna tell you. And I love that about Luke. That's a good characteristic to have for sure. But he's definitely mentally driven, and he's a guy that I've always been able to go to if I've ever had any problems on the football field. He's always been one that knows not just his position but others, and he's definitely a big football head.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So Luke was telling us, in his episode, just like he kind of is a different dude on that field, right? Because when I see him, obviously just real relaxed kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I want to keep this in or not, but I was talking to Devin. You know Devin.
Yeah.
And you guys were seniors at the same time, and you guys played each other that year. Game was not close for us, unfortunately. But he was telling me that pregame. Now you let me know if this is true or not, and just kind of elaborate on this. Pregame, that you guys didn't shake the hands. That we went to go shake your guys' hands, and I think he mentioned you and Luke were like, "Nah, we're not doing that." Is that true or not? Or just kind of elaborate on that.
See, I don't know if it was necessarily true or not.
Okay.
See, we didn't
long time
not
ago.
shake hands, but it was definitely some hard feelings.
Okay, gotcha.
But it was just it was a big game. It's a rivalry game down the road, and we didn't play you guys the year before, so it was definitely something we were looking forward to.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
wow. Dude, there's nothing more nasty than not shaking that.
Bro, because when
I don't think we ever did that with Bell Fountain, so I don't know.
Yeah. When Devin was telling me that, I was just, because he definitely mentioned Luke, and I was like, damn, even Luke didn't shake the hand? I was like, all right. And then that just kind of brought me back to like where he was telling us like he's just a different dude out there. I was like, I mean, dude, I love it. If anything, I mean, sure, it's like one thing, to think about it a different way, but like, whatever, bro. You know, it is what it is.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know? I just want to kind of piggyback off of what Luke or what Irv was saying. You know, I know a lot of you Indian Lake boys. You guys are all awesome people. But I want you to take me through that senior year recruitment process, right? I want you to take me through some of the coaches that came and saw you, some of the places you went and saw, and, you know, what advice you would give, like, somebody that's going through that process right now.
For sure. So, my first visit was actually at Defiance. You know, I went there on a game day visit, and they were really nice. You know, they had some nice facilities and whatnot. But it just wasn't really where I saw myself, you know. They had some cool colors, you know, the purple. I like the purple and whatnot. People are nice, but I just didn't really see myself there. Then, you know, I went to Mount St. Joseph, beautiful campus, Cincinnati, you know. Can't get much better than downtown. Got everything to do there. But, you know, at the time, there was a running back in front of me where, you know, he's still an amazing guy, Cornell Beecham. You know, he's on his way to the draft right now. Yeah. On the way to the NFL, you know, he's working out and stuff. But he was there, you know, he's All-American and whatnot, so I just didn't see myself playing for a couple years. So, and then went to Heidelberg, you know, great facility, great people, great place to be. Old hometown for you, you know. But, yeah, so, and Heidelberg was definitely top 3. You know, I love that place. Obviously, you definitely had a big part in that, you know, helping me there. And I just love the recruitment process. I went to where else did I go? Muskingum, obviously. Went there. Beautiful campus. Love it there. That's home now. So, you know, can't really complain about that. And, you know, just some advice I would give some people is, you know, always take opportunities that you get. Like, if you get the opportunity to go to a game day visit, go to it. Even if you don't want to go to the college there, go to it, because you might actually end up liking the college more than you think. You know, it's never a bad opportunity to have extra coaches to talk to, or, you know, even a guy down the road. Say you don't like the position that you're at right now in a college or whatnot. Hey, you got a back pocket phone number to go to. You know what I mean? You always got somebody that's known you also. So, like, when you're reaching out to coaches, not just are you putting in a word for yourself, you're putting in a word to other coaches. Because coaches talk to coaches, you know. So they get a word about you, and that's really how the word spreads. And just, you know, I think Twitter right now is one of the biggest recruiting places for coaches and whatnot. Everybody puts out everything on their film, you know, workouts, what they're doing, what they're eating, you know, everything. And coaches are constantly looking at it, you know, texting you, emailing you, calling you. It's a big process. But, you know, I would definitely tell the kids to enjoy it while you can, because unless you transfer it, I mean, it doesn't happen again. So
I feel like we've had a Dalton Rockhold was one of the guys we just recently had on, and he went to Finley to go play ball, and he talked about how there was a specific coach that were just kind of like always making sure that he was set and good, and just kind of always checking up on him and just showing him love. And the same thing with Keith Cunningham over at Heidelberg. He mentioned the same thing, and I think he was even the one that also mentioned the Twitter thing. Yeah. So just kind of, did you have someone reaching out to you like that, just to kind of make sure that you were always doing good, and what how big of a part did that play into you really making that move into Muskingum?
You know, my head coach at Muskingum, Coach Eider, he would always text me in the summer, ask me how I was doing, and then along with my running back coach, you know, we would always have Zoom meetings and whatnot, and he was always personally checking up on us, FaceTiming us, calling us, asking how we were doing. I wasn't even there yet, so that just played a big part in my decision. You know, it really felt like they wanted me there, and that they you know, was going to welcome me into the family and just have me there. So that was just a big part in my decision. Not that the other colleges didn't reach out to me and whatnot, but they definitely were more in touch with me. Yeah,
could you definitely feel a difference between some of the ones that were reaching out and the other ones?
And even talking to the coaches, like I was there for probably 5-10 minutes, and I just felt like a different bond with the coaches. Like the coaches they're just a lot, you know, cooler. They were nicer, you know, they're easier to talk to. Right. They're more understanding of just everything, you know. You could just talk to them. You could feel that like this relationship.
You know, I always loved, like, during the recruitment process, how much of a king I felt like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you get to try on the jerseys, you get that free meal, you get the tour of the facilities.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I'm him, you know? Like, I am him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had that at Heidelberg, that experience. Like, we really want you here. We have all the AT, all of this, all of that. And, you know, you get there, they hype your film up. Like, we really think you can do good here. And Dalton talked about this too.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get there on day one, it's like everything you believe is wrong.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly how it turns out.
Yeah. So that takes us into year one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Talk to me about year one at Muskie.
Yeah, so year one, you know, I show up for camp, get to camp, we got physicals first day. We don't start till the next day, but honestly, I was anticipating it to be a lot worse. You know, we don't wake up till about 7 o'clock. We got breakfast first, and then we start our day. You know, so it's not terrible. We get done about 8 o'clock. You know, the rest of the time's yours. You know, sleep, do what you want, but don't be irresponsible with it. You know what I mean? So, and then, you know, just going into camp, I was always pushing myself. You know, we had 2 senior backs at the time, and then he ended up staying next year for the 5th year, but at the time, you know, he was a senior. So I knew that they were probably going to play him. And then we had a couple good freshmen in too. We had a big room, you know, we had 9 guys in our running back room. So I knew I was going to have to work off the start. So first week of camp, you know, went good. I felt like I had a great week, you know. I was at the top of the totem pole. I was like third on the depth chart. You know, I was up there, and on all the special teams, I was on like 3 or 4 of the special teams. So I felt good about myself. You know, I felt like I was in a good spot where I needed to be. So I just, you know, kept going through camp, and then we had a joint practice against Denison. You know, it was fun. Got a couple carries, you know, did what I could with it. And then the following week we ended up having a scrimmage with Wittenberg. You know, Luke, I was always yeah, I was super excited to play against Luke. Sadly, we didn't actually get to play against each other, but I did, you know, see him on the field. Whatnot.
Right.
So, but you know, I ended up I had a carry and I just cut it up weird, and I sprained my MCL on my right knee.
No way, bro.
Yeah. So that set me out for 3 weeks. Came back off of that. I was doing rehab, you know, getting healthy. Came back off of that, and a week later rolled my right ankle. So I was out for 2 weeks off that, and then by the time I came back, we was already halfway through the season. So, you know, at that point I'm 6th, 7th on the depth chart. You know, I'm not really getting a chance at that point. I'm just kind of riding the bench. You know, I honestly I didn't even really play GV that much. Like I wasn't in really. And, you know, I wasn't fine with it, but, you know, looking back at it, it was probably better for my body in the long run that I wasn't just tearing it up even more, because back-to-back injuries and whatnot, that's not too good.
Right.
But so, you know, going into spring ball, we got spring ball. It starts in about when we get back from Christmas break, January. Instantly starts. The first couple weeks, you know, it was going good, conditioning good. You know, I was in shape, whatnot. And then finally, I start hearing this talk about, like, they want to move me to linebacker. They want to move me to this. They want to move me to this. So I was like, all right. So I had a meeting with my coach, and I was like, you know, what's going on? Like, what's going on with my position? Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, you know, I think we could use you at fullback. And I was like, I kind of looked at him, and I was like, I don't really think fullback's the best position for me. At the time, I'm like 195. Like, that's, especially at the college level.
Yeah.
I'm getting my bell rung for sure.
Right.
So I was like, you know, I played linebacker a little bit in high school. You know, I feel like I would be more comfortable at the linebacker position. And he was like, all right, you know, we can try you out there. And at the time, we had one of my favorite coaches, Coach Michael Oliver. He played at Central Michigan. He played linebacker there. Amazing coach, great dude to talk to. And so he always, you know, he would work with me, help me through the process, you know, started getting into the defensive side. And I tell you what, going from offense to defense in college, 2 different things. You got to know so much stuff, you know.
Right.
In high school, you don't really think about what cover 3 is. You just play your position. in defense. In college, you got to know what the cornerback's dropping to, where you're dropping to make the drops even. You know,
Right.
You got to know where the flats are. You got to know how to divide the field up. You got to know what your defensive end's doing, where he's going, so you can hit the right hole. You know, like it's just a bunch of different stuff. And so like just getting into the playbook, it was really different for me. You know, just having the defensive mindset compared to offense. You know, like defense, you're hitting somebody every play. You're like, it's just like, it's a big mental factor. And so like, just getting into that and stuff, it was really different. So I didn't necessarily start out too high. I was six in the linebacker room, all the way damn near the bottom. You know, the only person that was under me was the injured. So I was all the way down there, you know, starting spring ball. So, you know, obviously that just gave me motivation to work. So come summer, I'm just working out. Me and my little brother working out in the gym, you know, trying to get him ready, trying to get me ready. We're just working in the gym, running, doing footwork, field work, drills, just all ourselves. So, you know, come fall, start up spring ball. This is my sophomore year. Start up fall ball. Get into camp, and you know, I'm moving up in the depth chart. I started at a 4. Then next day I'm at 3, next day I'm at 2, next day I'm at 3, and it's just back and forth. So, you know, I'm seeing myself progress, and I'm seeing the work that I put in, and I'm seeing like how it affects what I'm doing on the field and whatnot. So now it's just getting into the playbook, you know, learning the actual stuff. You know, in the playbook, our coach, you know, he does an amazing job of teaching us how to break stuff down. And, you know, he's an amazing defensive coordinator, Coach Bowie. You know, he came from Denison, but can't really hate on him for it. But, yeah, he's a great guy. And, you know, he always makes it easy to break stuff down. You know, he'll always have extra film work with you if you need it and whatnot. So just having him kind of help you, and having my other coach, Coach Howell, you know, he helped me out a lot, just understanding the field, because at the time, you know, I'm coming from offense, so I just got to know linebacker flowing over, I got to cut back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just taking that knowledge as an offensive player and putting it into defense. You know, I'm just using it, you know, I'm flowing, can't overflow. So, you know, he starts teaching me, you know, your footwork patterns, you know, how you step, it all matters. You know, like if you take a backward step, you're taking a false step. Your linemen have another chance to get to you. They're a step ahead of you. You know, just fighting over blocks instead of under them at the level, and just making better defensive decisions and becoming more defensive sound. He really helped me out with that. And so going through fall camp, you know, I started climbing the depth chart, started doing my thing, and I was they called me a 2.5. But I was like, because me and the 2, we would split, me and the other Will. So we would split reps starting, you know, whatnot. I would get reps starting. So it was, you know, it really helped my mental going into fall camp, you know, because obviously spring ball, I'm 6 on the depth chart. You know, now fall camp, I'm a 2, you know, like I'm basically playing.
Yeah.
So, you know, it helps you out a lot, and it just makes you a lot happier with where you are. So, you know, going forward, you know, I was played practice all of fall. Actually, I missed this fall camp. This was like fourth, probably 5th day into fall camp. We were doing kickoff, running down on kickoff, and me and my buddy, he came to tackle. He came to wrap up on one side. I'm coming in on the other side. We sandwiched this dude, but our helmets meet on the other side. Instant concussion. So I'm out for 4 weeks off that.
No.
Yep. So I missed. So I missed our scrimmage, and then I was back. So I just missed our scrimmage and our joint practice.
Right.
But and the rest of fall camp. But so I came back. You know, got to work for my position again. You know, but. I mean, that wasn't really stopping me from anything, you know. I just, you know, kept my head down, kept doing what I was doing, and eventually ended up paying off. Come week 2, you know, I got playing time against Otterbein. First game I played, had, I think it was like 8 or 9 tackles. I was second in the team in tackles that game. And, you know, it was just a big motivational boost from there. I just, you know, kept working, kept pushing myself. Just seeing progress is like, it's a big thing. You know, once you see progress, you don't want to stop.
Right.
So it was just kept pushing me throughout the year to keep making myself better and whatnot. You know, I got a start against John Carroll. Wasn't necessarily the game I wanted, but, you know, it is what it is. Got to play, you know, got the experience of college linebacker on the defense side of the ball. And then come spring ball, I wasn't, like, necessarily, like, not happy with playing linebacker, but I could feel myself, like, I wasn't gonna work as hard as I was if I played running back, you know. So I just told my coach, I was like, hey man, you know, I'm not necessarily like happy in the position I'm in. Like, I'll play here if you need me, but like I'd much rather be happier at linebacker or running back. So, you know, they talked it over with the coaching staff, and, you know, they all agreed that it was okay. And so now I'm a running back, moved it back over to running back, just working, you know, because, you know, it's not going to be easy going from playing linebacker back to running back. So you just got to, you know, you got to work. But, you know, you never lose confidence in yourself and just keep pushing, you know. I've played for almost 10 years now, so I'm not really too worried. But, you know, just keep pushing and keeping that motivation that, you know, you can do it, and just believing in yourself. You know, that's always a big thing. So yeah.
So where are you on the depth chart right now that you know of?
He said I would come in as a 3.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
So
he didn't want to guarantee me the spot, but like,
right.
Still got to work for it, you know.
So were you having like these flashbacks when they were because you go into freshman year, you're the running back. You go into sophomore year, they want to switch you again. You know, talking about previously how you were a guard or center and guard going into running back. Now they're talking about running back being back to guard. So like, what was that kind of like mentally like? Yo, I can't go through this again.
You know, it's honestly like going from running back to linebacker, kind of like I said, that was more challenging than going from defense to offense, I think. It's more of just like, I take it as a learning aspect. You know, you're learning more about football. You know, I kind of use it as a positive. So now that not just knowing about, you know, I've played, you know, defensive side of the ball in college. Now I'm also going to play the offensive side of the ball in college, you know. So not only do I know how to break a field down on the defense, I also know how to use it to my offensive advantage.
Right, that definitely might help you out in the future.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good way to look at it.
Mm-hmm. Especially when it comes to making like reads and adjustments.
No, yeah, definitely. And even helping out like the younger kids, you know. Not only do I have experience at running back, I can also help you at linebacker too. You know, it helps. It'll help in the long run too, just with coaching and everything. Yeah.
So that takes me into one of my questions I got for you. You know, that transition from high school to college is pretty difficult, I'd say.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Talk about what that transition has done for you as far as your character and time management, and, you know, how's that impacted you?
I feel like my time going into college, you know, it definitely made me care more about my family, and not necessarily that I didn't care about them, but it just makes you appreciate everything more, because you understand that you don't always have that time with them forever. Right. Like, you grew up with them, you saw them every day, you might have fought with them a little bit, but now that you're 2 hours away from them, you know, you miss those times. So it's like, it's just, you know, you understand how to like live life on your own, really, and it just makes you, you know, it makes you a man, you know, it turns you into a better person, you know. And you know, the time management thing, obviously, you know, college, you got to get your work done and whatnot. So just, you know, being able to balance that, football, sometimes work, you know, it's definitely a big time management thing. One of the things that helps us is we have mandatory study tables. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it gives us a 2-hour block to get our work done 3 days out of the week. So, you know, that definitely helps us, and it definitely helps our team out, and, you know, keeps us accountable and eligible. So
I liked how you mentioned that, because it just kind of brought me back to Miles Hosteller, his episode, because he was just kind of talking about how he was a little bit worried about how he wasn't sure how he was going to do a good job of managing his time when we're talking about college football and then being a student. And then I remember Cole telling him basically just the same thing that you just said. We're just kind of having those times that the school already has for you.
So I would say, you know, the best way to manage time is probably kind of just like that, you know, setting the time aside for yourself, and just, you know, getting the work done when you can, you know. because you don't want to. It's not good to procrastinate in college.
Yeah.
It's definitely not. It'll catch up to you for sure. And just, using your time wisely and just staying ahead. I always like to stay ahead because once you get behind, it's hard to catch up. Yeah. Especially, having a degree in health and fitness, a minor in nutrition. It's definitely not easy to stay ahead of work, but you just gotta find those times where you can sit down, you're by yourself, and just bust down some work. It doesn't have to be the whole 5-page paper, but just a page and a half. That gets you ahead. So it definitely helps.
Yeah, and I don't know about Muskingum, but I know that like Heidelberg and Wilmington and a lot of the OAC schools have this like game plan. Is what they called it for us, academic game plan or whatever, to where you like fill it out and show your coach. Like where you like we had A1, B1, and C1, right? So A was like top list priority items. B was like these are going to be needed done next week, and C was like what do you want to do for fun? Mm-hmm. And it was like our AGP, and up till my senior year, we had to go and get it checked like once a week just to keep our coaches in the loop, how we're doing academically. And I know that Wilmington kind of does like a similar thing. You said now Muskingum has study tables. So like, I mean, that's the good thing is like, you leave and go become a man and you're out on your own and you're growing a lot. And the thing is that's true. And then you have great mentors to help you too, your coaches. And, I had close professors of mine, and dude, it's a different animal, but you learn so much so quickly. And
definitely.
I definitely wasn't the same person my freshman year as far as like time management and doing my work as I was my senior year. Like my senior year, you didn't even have to look at my academic game plan because you knew in my head like, oh, I have a 5-page paper due on Wednesday. That's an A1 item. Next week I have a 10-page paper due. I should probably start that. That'll be a B. And then just like, oh, I haven't called my parents. Like you said, you appreciate your family so much more. Like haven't called my parents in like a week. That's got to be on the list. So I'm gonna put that like as a C item. And it just becomes muscle memory.
Yeah.
So,
man, essentially, I've had the opportunity to watch you grow. So, playing against each other my senior year, your freshman year, and then getting to watch you play your senior year, and then, just kind of keeping up with your journey throughout the college, throughout your college years. Hearing you talk about how you were playing running back, then you got switched to linebacker, and then now you're back at running back where you want to be. It makes me happy knowing that you're on that path to where you want to be. So, just hearing you talk about how everything has unfolded, it makes me excited to see what we got coming up for next season.
Yeah, of course.
So just kind of like, what are those goals for next year?
Of course, one of my goals is to be a starter. I want to go out and, show what I can do at the college level. It's always been a dream of mine to play college football, especially at running back. So I feel like this year is probably my best opportunity so far to just be able to go out and showcase what I can do. I've been working constantly, daily, just putting in work. Just the motivation to succeed at the college level is just, it definitely drives you to want to be great,
Yeah. And, just kind of talking about, again, how what the journey has been. A lot of time, maybe we forget to thank some people, or maybe we just don't have the opportunity to tell them, or maybe like, now we have this platform where we can say what we want. We can share it to a few hundreds of people, So is there someone you want to, give this time to just kind of thank them for, bringing you into the position you are today or helping you where you are today?
Yeah, of course. I'd like to thank my dad, my grandparents, my brothers that constantly motivate me, keep me in track, make sure I'm a good role model for them. Just keeps me motivated daily. My mom, just can't thank them people enough. They always, put forth an effort, took me to camps, helped me succeed, and just was a great motivator for me all the way through. They always believed in me, never told me I couldn't do anything, and just, always had their hand on my back and just kept me pushing.
I also want to ask a question to you because like Irv said, like there's a lot of people to thank, you know what I mean? And it can be, like I said before, it can be really hard, you know, like being a student athlete in college is a very hard thing to do. And that's why it's nice to have this platform to highlight these people, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to know, as a student athlete or as a person, what are some struggles that you face personally?
You know, definitely controversy, you know, I would say. Just, you know, just injuries, you know, and just growing up, you know, and not only like just a smaller town, but like just in the area that I did, you know, it's not overly black populated, you know. I kind of had to pave a way for myself, and you know, just kind of doing that, it just, I don't know, it just kind of sets like a different mindset in you, you know. It just keeps you pushing. So.
And so, your brother Cole, he doesn't play ball. My younger brother, he doesn't play ball. And, you know, it just kind of brought me to thinking. I don't know. So, I know you got, what, a younger brother or two?
Four.
Okay. So, do they play ball at all or no?
Yeah. So, the second oldest, you know, he's a big game head. You know, he's really good at games.
Right.
But the middle one, yeah, he plays football. He's pretty good. You know, he's in 7th grade. He's
okay, cool.
I've been getting him, you know, working out in the gym, just keeping him right, you know, getting ready for the season, trying to keep him ahead of where I was.
Yeah.
So
as someone, you know, like I said, my brother don't play ball, your brother don't play ball. And maybe there's a kid out there that maybe is kind of on the edge of it. Maybe they want to play, maybe they don't. But, like, they're just kind of afraid to take that step, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering what maybe, like, you know, a college athlete as yourself would say to that kid that maybe wants to play but isn't sure or is just afraid to start playing. What kind of words would you have for them? You know, because obviously football has changed our lives and we see it in a different manner than maybe some other people don't. So what kind of advice would you have for that kid?
Yeah, so, I mean, one of the biggest things I have to say is, you know, football brings together a family. Not only is it friends, but it brings together a brotherhood and people you'll remember forever. So just having that connection with people and, you know, getting to know people better because, I mean, you're out there, you're grinding with them, you know, 5 days a week at least, out there sweating, you know, putting in work, learning stuff together. I mean, it brings together a big family, and, you know, for maybe a kid that doesn't have that at some point, you know, it's definitely something to, you know, consider. I would you know, push anybody to play football. I think it's a great sport, you know, obviously my favorite sport. And it gives you something to do out of your free time that just, you know, makes you better at everything, you know.
Yeah.
Not just a person, but an athlete, you know.
I was very good.
No, you're good.
Okay. Well, and also another reason I wanted to ask that was because, like, I don't know if I would have started sports if I didn't move to Riverside because I started in Sydney. We talked about it in the very first episode, but it was like I had this friend, Ollie Jacobs. He would bug the crap out of me to sign this form to play basketball. If I didn't sign the form, I couldn't play. Mm-hmm. And it was 5th grade year I moved over here, and, you know, never would have thought that I would start playing a sport. I just didn't like it. I didn't know anything about it. And then he brought that to me, and he just kind of showed up to my house one day, made me sign the paper to play, and that's just kind of how my sports journey started. And I'm forever grateful for that moment because I don't know if that doesn't happen we're definitely not sitting down here doing this if that moment doesn't happen. Man. So it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, just do it. Just whoever needs to hear it, just do it.
Exactly.
My little brother, just play ball.
Exactly.
Dude, I don't really tell this story often, but, you know, my little brother did play football for a year, his freshman year. And he went back out this last year, and he approached me. I was lifting out in the weight room, and he goes, I don't want to play football. And I looked at him and I was like, you're nuts. I was like, you're 6'5", you're a big kid. Like, what are you doing? Looks at me, he goes, dude, I just don't like it. He's like, I just can't get into it, and I don't want to play football. And he's like, I hope that you're not mad or you're pissed at me. Like, and I look at him and I'm like, just get out of my face. But then, like, after my workout, I was sitting there thinking, and I'm like, sometimes it isn't meant for everybody. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the relationships that he's made are because of sports. Mm-hmm. Like, he's got a lot of friends because he's throwing track and field, and that's his thing. That's what he loves to do. So I'm going to work with him on that.
Yeah.
Be an older brother and hopefully guide him into succeeding. And, you know, I was really upset, but instead of, you know, going up to him after and, like, cussing him out or being upset about it, I did what an older brother would do. I looked at him and I said, I understand it might not be for you, but what you're going to do now is you need to call the coach or you need to go tell him in person, because there's nothing worse than just cutting a cold turkey and not showing up. Yeah. And so he picks up his phone and calls the coach, and you could just see it. And he's like heavy breathing, like real nervous. But the coach was actually really understanding. They still have a really good relationship, and I'm sure that they'd welcome him back with open arms. But sometimes you just, somebody can just not be interested in something. And I just, instead of taking the negative from it, I was like, I'm going to give him a growing opportunity and be like, listen, you're going to do something a grown man would do, and you're going to say, hey, I don't want to do it. So instead of, being a salty older brother that just wants to push his younger brother to play something, I was like, you know what? Do your thing, but you got to do it this way because it's the appropriate thing to do. And, that's what the blessing of being an older brother is, man. Like, you get to watch somebody else grow. And I don't know, that's something that's really special to me, so.
And, just to continue on that topic of being the older brother, can you just kind of talk about your siblings a little bit and just kind of what that means to you to be the older brother?
Yeah, of course, I always grew up and I always wanted an older brother, but, obviously that didn't happen. So, just me being able to provide that, security and just being able to have them, have somebody to look up to that's, a good role model, and, stays out of trouble, just has a good head on their shoulders. I've always tried to be that person for my brothers, just, so they have someone, good to look up to. And especially, just, me being me, I've always just tried to help them in any way that I can, whether it's sports, school, any of that stuff. A lot of times they've had the same teachers that I had growing up. So just like anything like that, it's always good to like show that you're there for them and just help them whenever, because like you never know when they actually might need help,
Right. And you saying that, you wish you had an older brother. I think sometimes, like, kind of reflecting on my relationship with my little brother, it's more like, I wonder what it would be like if I did grow up with an older brother. Maybe life could have been a little bit easier, just kind of them teaching me some of the things that they knew.
Exactly.
But then it's also like, I'm very thankful of the life that I've been blessed with, because I had to go through a lot of things on my own, and that's just kind of what makes us, I'm happy that I had to go through that instead of them.
Exactly.
So, I'm just grateful, that I am that older brother, and, like you talked about, you just want to make sure, like, they're set, that they're good, that you can teach them whatever it is that you didn't know at the time.
Exactly.
And, man, it's just like, you just want nothing more than for them to be okay. And, man, it's just, I don't know. It's pretty cool.
There's something so special about being a brother, man. Like, honestly.
For real.
There's no better feeling than to go home. I still live at home. Yeah. And there's no better feeling for me to go home than to pull into my driveway and my little brother sitting in his gaming chair just like
exactly.
eyeing me down or, flexing or,
just being goofy, right?
Being goofy. And, like, I don't know. I love to see the progression in life and just be able to see my brothers grow.
Exactly.
And, my older brother, about to be a father, like, I'm going to be an uncle here soon. And it's just like, man, life flies fast, dude. And there's just something special about it. And it's awesome that we're, sitting here talking about it right now, because I never really get to reflect and think about what my brothers have done for me.
Right.
But, and I mean, yeah, I just grateful,
For sure. And you just kind of talking about that. I feel like it also gives, like, maybe a little bit of, like, some experience of what we would be like almost as dads. Because it's almost like, because my brother's so much younger than me. He's like, I think like 10 years younger than I am. He's 14 right now. He's about to be a freshman. And it's just like, sometimes I'll catch myself just trying, like, getting a little too upset at something I shouldn't be getting upset about. And then I'm just like, okay, just remember, like, this is your opportunity to, like, learn for whatever the future holds.
Exactly.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, like, being a brother has forced me to almost kind of be like a dad. That's kind of strange to say, but
no,
like,
it's just spot on.
Dude, like, incidents, I don't know. I just feel like the older you get, the more mature you get, not but because of the experience, but because of the wisdom and how much you learn and observe,
Exactly.
So,
I want to get into a lighter subject. We got college football 25. They just released their cover, for the case.
Yeah.
And I want to know, I think I played like 12, 13, 14 possibly. And I think back then I always started with like Oregon. Oregon was like my team that's like, this is the team I'm taking to the Natty.
Marcus Mariota, brother.
Yeah, right. And then I think recently, like, right, once they stopped making the game, bro, you know what I tried to do? I tried to find an Xbox 360. Because randomly, out of nowhere, my little brother comes home with 13. He went to GameStop. He bought a 13. I was like, bro, where did you find this?
I need it.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, bet. We got the game. We don't have the system. Like, everything we got is broken, bro. Either the tray just won't come out or the red button just right around. So it's like, all right, bro. So, like, what do I got to do to play this game? Because we got the game now, but where's the system? You know how hard it was to find an Xbox 360, bro? That was so hard. Obviously you can't buy it in the stores or anything. And so I just had to go on the Facebook Market or something. And even on Amazon, I was like, that's kind of sketchy. Like, there's no way. Like, there's no shot.
Yeah.
So luckily enough, somewhere around here had one. So I just went to go buy that, and I snatched that up. And then, ever since that, I stepped away from Oregon. Started doing like stuff like the Ohio Bobcats.
Like a max school.
just trying to take a small school to the Natty, right?
Yeah,
so what I want to know is just like, once that game comes out, once you're able to play it, what's that team you're taking to the Natty?
The team I'm probably gonna take is I would take North Carolina.
Okay, UNC.
Yeah, UNC.
Okay, are you a fan of them?
No.
No. Okay,
No.
I like it.
No.
What is it about them then?
I just like the baby blue.
Yeah, I love that.
The baby blue.
But they're arguably still like
they're a good
top
team.
25. Yeah.
they're
So you want to start with a good team.
Well,
You don't want to rebuild.
Yeah, nah.
That's the
You
fun
gotta
of
start
it, bro.
good. Yeah, of course. But like, you still gotta start good.
All right, top 3 teams I'm taking right now. I'm gonna name them off for you. Okay, Hawaii Rainbow Warriors.
Wrong.
For sure.
I don't.
Two. JMU James Madison. I got to. We talked about this. James Madison, and then Mac School, Western Kentucky. Wait, is that Mac School?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. What? I'm taking Western Kentucky.
Well, I don't know. I don't like any of those options.
I just feel like you had to start at the bottom.
No, I agree.
And I even ran this scenario in my head. Right, I'm thinking like I'm gonna torture somebody with the triple option too, and go with the Army or Navy at some point too. I just don't know. Like, I just like the rebuild, man. It's fun to do, and I'm super excited for it. It's been like 12 years, and it's like flashback to when I was 12 years old. About to get home out of school and sit in front of a TV and play NCAA 2012, and it's just like, I need it, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just gonna be like I've been watching the trailers, and I actually feel like tears coming to my eyes. Like, I'm just like,
It looks good. It looks like the graphics are amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Bro.
I might I'm just gonna sit and enjoy it. Like, I'm just gonna watch it all. I might shed a couple tears. I told Kelly and my dad and everybody, I'm like, if you want me to stop bugging you guys, you just gotta get that game for me. That's all you gotta do.
So talking about that, I wanted to know, like, just randomly, just like, what's your favorite NFL team?
Broncos for sure.
Okay, and then what's your favorite college team?
Favorite college team, O State.
Okay, what made you a Broncos fan?
My dad.
Okay.
He's always liked the Broncos.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you taking as QB1 then?
Who right now?
Yeah. Isn't it Bo Nix?
I'm taking Bo Nix.
I like Bo Nix.
There's something about him, man. Like, who's the sleeper?
But I think
who's your backup right now?
The backup is man, y'all put me on.
Wait, so they just got rid of Drew Lock, right?
They got rid of Drew Lock, and they got Jarrett Stidham. That's their other backup. So he'll probably start for real. And then Bo Nix and
I don't even know.
drawing a blank.
Zach
Wilson.
Oh, that's why we couldn't think of him.
Yeah.
That's why we couldn't.
I don't think he's good.
No.
Nah, he's all right. Like, I don't know.
Are you saying that when he's
decent.
on the Jets?
He played decent in the Jets.
But he's got a Russ style play.
But I don't think he'll play.
No. But
I think it'll be Bo Nix or Jarrett Stidham. And sadly, I think Jarrett Stidham will start just because he has the experience. And then I feel like game 1, 2, I think Bo Nix will be in. But preseason, I feel like it's
who's the sleeper pick of the draft?
Like altogether?
QB.
QB?
Sleeper pick of the draft, QB.
You know, I was watching this video of like they're doing their photo shoots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can just see everyone just kind of walking around in their uniform. I think Caleb Williams looks crazy. I think crazy as in he don't look like a athlete out there. And then Drake May, he was surprisingly looked funny to me. Like there was like no swag there or nothing. So I was just like, I'm not sure, bro. I like Drake May. I like Drake May at UNC, but like I don't know. I'm really not sure about the quarterback.
I hate Caleb Williams, and I hate him.
You know what's crazy? We were talking about that on Adam Reidinger, right?
Yes, we talked about this on Adams. I just don't like him, bro. Like the way he carries himself, how he talks in interviews, the fact he didn't participate in the combine, like
I still got one.
Loser. Like, yeah, you might be making multi-millions, but the character, dude, is everything. Like, there's character leeches, and if your locker room gets that, then good luck, man. Like the Bears are gonna go 4-12.
No, I agree.
But look, everyone. Okay, we can say that about Kelp, but that team is good. The Bears are good.
They're going 4-12.
He's definitely got.
No,
he's definitely got a very good position.
6-10. 6-10. Sorry, but below 500. I don't know. And
They're
then we can look back on this episode later, and I'm gonna be like, told you, bro.
Well, what I was saying was Adam was saying that he did not want Caleb Williams at all, and then I see him posting him on his story. So just shout out Adam.
No, I think the sleeper QB of the draft, probably Bo Nix.
I like him.
If not Bo Nix, then it has to be
Drake May.
No, there's another
Jane
one.
Daniels. Penix.
Bo Nix.
You said Bo Nix.
No. Yeah, Penix. Sorry.
Yeah, he went to Atlanta, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
ATL. Yeah. I think he's gonna make a good run there. I just, dude, I don't know.
You know who's not making a good run? The Cowboys.
Dude, they oh my gosh.
And I can't wait to play y'all. Y'all are
I saw them re-sign their center or their long snapper, and I almost actually broke my phone. They re-signed their long snapper before re-signing anybody.
They haven't done a single thing.
What you think about Zeke?
Zeke's pretty cool.
He's washed, though.
I like Zeke.
He had a decent season with the Patriots last year.
Yeah, he led them in receiving yards.
Hey, you use him as a receiving back?
I think that Deuce Vaughn's probably going to end up breaking out or something. I just think that there's some secret sauce with that guy.
Just seeing him stand next to everybody is different.
He's just 5'2". He's a small guy, but he is lethal, bro. I'm telling you, he is gonna break off. I don't know. He's gonna crawl through people's legs. He's gonna score some touchdowns. He's gonna make the damn thing.
I don't like how you went in my direction when you said 5'2". Bro. Eli, man, we're out of time here today, and I just want to thank you, bro, for coming on. And before we leave, actually, I want to thank you because you're definitely one of those dudes that started the Irv's edits, wearing that stuff on the field, man. So I appreciate you for doing that. I appreciate you for showing that love, and hopefully we can continue that going on to next season, man. And again, thank you for making the trip, and I'm just super excited to see what you grow into, bro.
Of course, man.
It's been a blessing, and there's nothing better than to have people in here that you have personal relationships with or real close with, and just blessed to have you on, man. And I'm glad that we're still as close as we started out to be. And
exactly.
I just hope that nothing but blessings this next year, and hope you have that breakout year you're looking for up at Muskie, man. I look forward to seeing what you do. But
of course.
For everybody that's watching, you stay tuned for the next episode. This is the Huddle. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Loco Bounce. Loco Bounce is found by Tim Arvin and Dalton Rockhold, and they do everything from bouncy house rentals to slide rentals to several other services. They service Bell Fountain, Logan County, and the surrounding areas. If you or anybody is interested in Loco Bounce, look them up on Facebook or give 937-210-7881 a call.